Hey guys, UWG Nick here and welcome back to Greedfall. As I said in the last episode, as we jailed or captured Asili, the scientist who had been experimenting on our dear fellow tribesmen and natives, we are going to court today. So we are right now outside the prosecutor's office and we're going to go offer him our help. Probably to find dirt and evidence against the bastard. We're going to work hard for this episode because I want to see that fucker punished.
Hello. To whom do I have the honor of speaking?
Desade. I'm the legate of the merchant congregation. Governor Buren told me to pay you a visit.
Oh, it is you who arrested Dr. Asili and must help me prepare the trial.
Well,
Exactly.
must.
Excellent.
It's an option.
We will have lots to do if we want the doctor to pay for his crimes.
Yes, and we do.
The accused has a lot of support. Any evidence and testimonies you can gather will be useful.
We'll have no problem gathering witnesses. His laboratory cells were full of them.
We will call them to the witness box, of course. But be aware that if the victims are natives, their words will unfortunately not carry much weight here.
There were also some noughts. Perhaps I could convince some of the doctor's colleagues to talk.
Their testimony will be crucial. The word of other scholars is likely to be the only thing that condemns him. That plus any material evidence you can gather.
I picked up a strange powder in the laboratory. A substance that I've not been able to identify.
You should show it to an alchemist. We need to know what it is to be able to use it.
These documents describe Dr. Asili's work, as well as the horrible experiments he was performing.
Perfect. I will read them in detail. We will no doubt find something to support my prosecution.
I have found a letter proving that Dr. Asili voluntarily transmitted the Malachor to my cousin, Constantin Dorsey. I would like to add that I too was a victim of this poisoning.
Did the accused try to take the life of the governor of New Serene? This is an extremely serious crime.
Indeed. He saw my cousin and me as the ideal control group to prove his theories, and no humanitarian or diplomatic consideration could put a stop to his ambition.
This letter alone is crucial proof. I will put it on our file.
Do we have any chance of winning?
Yes, I am rather confident. You have provided overwhelming evidence. But if we had witnesses, we would have an even bigger chance of winning.
I will return to you soon. The Nauts should be at the port, and the islanders had to take refuge in Vikshadir. As for the scientists, they said they would go back to the governor's laboratory. I should give this powder to someone who can tell me what it is.
Right, so we already found a bunch of shit in his offices that pretty much, in my opinion, condemns him. It's written by his own hand. I mean, what more could you possibly need to know? But apparently it's still not enough. We're going to get witnesses. Now, I expect this side mission to be a very much jump around a lot and go to a lot of different places on the map to find all the information and witnesses that you need. But nonetheless, we're going to start from the closest and move outwards. So if I check my map real quick, we have something in here at least. We have, yeah. Okay, so we have the Governor's Research Laboratory right over there, and then we have Commission ought to testify. And talk with Afra. Alright, well, I guess we'll start with talking to Afra. Afra is not exactly on great terms with me. I think she's suspicious. I've had nothing to do with her apart from what was forced upon me by the game. Oh, goddammit, now I have to find my house again. I suck so bad at finding the house here. Okay, now I know. So, I'm not sure how much information Afra will be willing to share about Asili. But we'll try our best. Why did I do that? I need to speak to her. These buttons keep switching on me. I hate that.
Desade, I'd like to discuss something with you.
Yes.
I'm listening.
My colleagues are only interested in the physiology of the islanders and consider everything else to be superstitions.
She's going to give me a quest
if we
first.
want to understand how they are transforming, we need to take a look at their culture. The potions they drink, the dyes they use are surely the source of their physical changes.
Why not talk about it with Siora? It seems to me that she would be the best one to help you.
Cool cutscene, bro.
Siora is very suspicious of me. She will never betray the secrets of the Donegada. But I was told about a place of ritual called Kurganau, decorated with carvings and offerings. By studying them, I hope to better understand what is possibly the greatest mystery of this century.
Sure.
They call it a dangerous place and I cannot go alone. Will you accompany me?
Not now, lady.
Sorry, I'm already very busy. at
I
the
need you
moment.
to rat out your
I
old teachers.
understand. But think about it all the same. Anything else?
Scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. Talk about her master.
I would like you to tell me about Asili.
I was expecting you to come and see me about this. What would you like to know?
Is he as much of a dick as we suspect?
Were you aware of Dr. Asili's experiments?
In part, yes. That's why I chose not to be his student any longer.
Why not say anything?
Because I never thought he would go so far. Over time, he became more and more cruel. I found his approach brutal. As if by meeting the natives it deprived him of all humanity. He spoke of them as test subjects, never as people. But there was a time when he was the greatest doctor and scientist in the Alliance. And I clung on to that memory.
You do know that you were captured thanks to him.
Yes, but I thought the natives wanted to trade us merely as prisoners of war. I was blind. And stupid. I regret it terribly.
Yeah, well, let's ask her on the opinion on the excessive science. The cutscene in this talk is a bit shit because it keeps jamming the camera outside the building up against the wall.
Do you think, as your master does, that science justifies all sacrifices?
Well, I never imagined it would have led to such cruel treatment. But if we want to live in a better world, free from the Malakor, we will have to make sacrifices.
The sacrifices should come from the willing, not the unwilling.
In your opinion, were the horrors practiced in this laboratory necessary for his research?
No, even if he was convinced of it. General interest outweighs the suffering of a few individuals. He wanted results quickly, to the point of neglecting slower, more humane methods. Well, like many of us, he was affected by the corpses we saw piling up because of the Malakor, and the urgency of finding a cure made him forego all morality.
By piling up
It's
more
horrible,
corpses.
and I regret all the suffering he's caused, but I guess I can understand it.
You disgust me, Afra. We did that one, the need for such a method.
Would you be willing to testify against Dr. Asili during his trial?
No, Desade. I'm sorry. You know that I disapprove of what he did, but I don't think I can take responsibility for his death if he's convicted.
I understand.
Anything else?
Leave. See,
I must leave you.
I think that if I would have had more interactions with Afra, if I had a better personal relationship with her, she might have decided to join in testifying against Asili. But that ain't happening now because I've done nothing with that girl. I ain't even touched her. Moving on though, we're gonna get to the laboratory, the government laboratory, and we're gonna have our powder tested and speak to some of the scientists. I have a good relationship with Hikmet in general, I think. Do I? Bridge Alliance, friendly. Yeah. We good. So, they should be willing to help me at least. Afra is suspicious of me. Are we? Oh, there we go. What is this? Old research documents of Dr. Onur. This file contains notes of Dr. Onur. From what you understand of the sketches and notes, he sought to discover how patients were contaminated and focused on the water the patients might have ingested. On the file, you can see words which were obviously written by Dr. Asili saying, "Completely useless research, give up, Onur, we have much better things to do." Well. Oh. Am I gonna convince Onur to testify against Asili by being like, well, he thinks you're shit. So, what do you say about that?
Dr.
Onur.
Yeah, there we go.
What do you want?
What's your work?
What is your role and what is your research topic?
I'm in charge of the governor's laboratories. My main research concerns the Malakor, of course. Above all, we searched for a way to reduce the suffering of the sick.
Searched.
Now that we have access to my colleague Asili's work, it gives us hope of finding a cure.
So the crimes he committed while conducting his work do not concern you?
He will be judged for that. But it would be a shame for him to have done all this for nothing.
It's not for nothing, it's just not something for him. You know, general interest, etc. He needs to make the sacrifice. He should die. Current reputation, Dr.
What do you
Asili.
think of Dr. Asili now that you've learned how he conducted his research?
Well, obviously the few excesses he has conceded himself are unfortunate, but he remains the greatest scientist that the Alliance has ever known. His work has had a profound effect on science. It seems quite unfair to me to reduce his life's work just to what he has done lately.
If I understand correctly, you will be one of his defenders.
Naturally. I don't deny that he made a terrible mistake, but he meant well. And he was probably acting on behalf of our helplessness to combat the Malachor.
A side note here, just a little comment. Throughout history, there have been numerous warlords, nations, etc. I'm sorry, my throat is really dry. Who have conducted horrendous experiments on prisoners of war or minorities and things like that. The Japanese had some really fucked up experiments they were doing in, was it Taiwan? God damn it. I think it was in Taiwan. And the Nazis were doing some really horrendous human experiments as well. Sorry, I have a really annoying cough going on. And the Nazis were also conducting horrendous human experiments on their prisoners, the Jewish population, gypsies, etc., and prisoners of war as well. This can all be Googled and researched online, so don't take my word for it. Go look for yourself. Either way, the science done during these terrible experiments, these absolute atrocities against humanity and human people, or people in general, always led to massive breakthroughs in the end. So this thing that we're playing right now in this game is pretty much a direct reference to our own history and what actually has happened several times. People just forgetting about morality and just going like, well, how does this work? Let's look at a living person and just start cutting up pieces and look inside. And how did they react to these kinds of agents, nerve agents and things like this? All this has led to breakthroughs in medicine that can be used later on. So it has, whenever these things have happened, it has just afterwards, once the research has become made public and everybody's done just like condemning it, it just goes boop. Like our knowledge of medicine just boosts a step. So this is historical fact, as far as I understand it. And yeah, it's an interesting dilemma, because if you have no morals, it's you can be very, very efficient when it comes to research on the human body. I just wanted to say that. Let's continue. Ask him to testify against Dr. Asili.
Would you agree to speak at the trial? Your influence could be crucial.
Oh, but I already intended to give a statement. His lawyer came to find me.
So are you ready to defend a man who used to torture and murder to advance his research?
Indeed, because I think the entire work of a scientist should not be judged on a single mistake. It is obvious that he should not have used such methods, but Asili has never been very political. I doubt he understood the implications of his actions.
So you're saying the only problem in this case is political?
Essentially, yes. The war he nearly caused could have been expensive for our governor and the city, but let's not fool ourselves. No tears will be shed over the fate of a few of those bloodthirsty savages.
Nobody here has any morals. Convince him to testify for the prosecution. Maybe we can do that with the help of the book that we found. Flatter his pride or talk about his abandoned research. We're going to flatter his pride because this has never failed us.
What interest do you have in defending Dr. Asili? You've obviously taken his place since his arrest. I understand that you admired him a lot, but under his tutelage you could not really impose your own ideas. Well, now you finally have a chance to leave your own mark on history.
You are not wrong, but I find it rather unlikely that he will be sentenced.
I have gathered a lot of damning evidence against him. And with your testimony...
I could finally publish my research on fountain contamination. Very well. You've convinced me. I will now testify for the prosecution. It is true that it's time to turn the page and leave his cruel methods behind.
Thank you, Doctor. Dr. Honor is an influential scholar. His testimony would convince the judges.
One down, a few to go, I guess. There is some background sound in this game. I don't know if it's supposed to be the screams of a cat or something like that, but it always sounds like my daughter waking up and crying in the middle of the night. There are many times I've been playing this and I've been like, wait, and she's not even asleep yet. Damn this cough. Okay, we need to get back to the lower floor. We still have that dark powder we need to get tested. There we go. Somebody here? You? No? There.
I never thought I'd see you here again. Why are you still free?
Dr. Honor made sure that I was
It's
set
you
free.
again.
He needed my help. What do you want?
Oh, she's not gonna like me. She's not gonna like me at all.
What is your purpose here?
I helped Dr. Honor to understand the research of my former master. He's the one who became his successor.
I do hope that he doesn't use the same methods.
Of course not.
What about your other colleagues? What's become of them?
They felt guilty. They stopped their experiments and returned to Al-Sad.
As you should have done.
What do the other scholars think of Dr. Asili now that his actions have been revealed for all to see?
Most still admire him greatly. He was the greatest amongst us, you know? They didn't witness what was happening in the lab, and they have little interest in the natives. For them, the main problem is political, given that the war against the rebels cost us dearly. Until they understand the horrors that happened there, they will not have any moral issues.
Huh. I'm gonna show her the powder first.
I discovered this strange powder in one of the laboratory's chests. Do you know what it is?
I did see the doctor using it once or twice, but I don't know what it is. But I can study it for you if you want. I have the tools that will allow me to do so here.
So, what is it?
What is
It
it?
is a quintessence of black blood. Probably created using the blood of numerous patients. The doctor managed to harness the very concept of the malachor in this powder. A single pinch ingested by someone would be enough for them to be afflicted by the disease. With the quantities that you brought me, hundreds of people could be contaminated.
It's a biological weapon.
It's terrifying. I cannot believe Asili would do such a thing. Here, these are my notes. I wrote down all the details of my experiments as well as my conclusions.
Thank you. I will relay them to the prosecutor.
Hold up. Did she just say she can't believe Asili would do such a thing? The guy who tortured and experimented on hundreds of natives and Nauts? Lady, you are naive beyond words.
Are you prepared to testify against Dr. Asili?
I would like to say no.
You
You
can't.
had me thrown in prison. And without Dr. Honor's intervention, I would still be there.
I knew it.
I can't stop thinking about what we did in that laboratory. I think only by testifying will I ease my conscience.
Thank you. Your story could change the outcome of this trial.
Yes. Well, that's
I
good.
must leave you.
I was really expecting her to just say flat out no because we kind of dicked her over. But it was her own damn fault. Right, do we still have something to do in there? No. Now we have convince or not just testify. I'm gonna run there, and I'm also gonna go see if I have cough medicine or something because this is getting a little bit frustrating. Making a video when you can't freaking talk does not for a good video make. So see you at the knot and hopefully with less coughing. Why is she...
Is everything all right?
Once again, thanks to you. These people wanted to kill me.
The
They
fuck was
certainly
going on
wanted to
here?
prevent you from testifying at the doctor's trial.
The doctor will be judged. I suppose you'd like me to testify about how we suffered.
Indeed. If you do not fear another attempt on your life by these men.
Don't worry. I won't put up with intimidation. From now on, my people will watch over me until I can testify. And I intend to witness the execution of our torturer. You can count on me.
You are fierce, lady.
Your word will be crucial during the trial.
Cool. So now we have that done as well. I guess it's back to, no, we need to meet the survivors in Vikshadir. Alright, see you in Vikshadir. Right, we are in Vikshadir, and I think it's time to meet the survivors. Wait, is that a thing I can loot? No, it just looks special. What the fuck happened to the world? Alright, let's go talk to the survivors. Oh, it's you.
Hey, you are the Onol Menawi who freed us. We managed to reach Vikshadir.
Yeah.
They told me what you did for them, Renaikse. Well done. I was able to give them the care they needed. Some wounds will take time to heal, but they are safe thanks to you.
I'm happy to see that they're better.
But you didn't come here for that, did you?
No. I came to ask for your help. The doctor who captured and tortured you is about to be tried for his crimes. He has a lot of support among his people. He's a respected man despite what he did. If we don't have testimony from some of his victims, he will surely be released.
You'll have our words. We'll go to the Grand City and tell our story.
And the mad lion will die for causing so much harm to our people.
That guy looks
May
like,
the earth engulf him. You can
Braveheart.
return to Hikmet. I'll make sure they get there in good health.
Thank you, Tiernahar. And thank you all. I blame myself
Well, that was
for
easy.
forcing these poor people back to the city where they have suffered so much.
My people are strong and proud. They will not be afraid to speak in front of your judges for justice.
Cool. It's nice to know, Ciara. The Sade residence. These midway camps are getting so annoying. Also, I had some purple drank, so let's hope that my cough goes away. At least for the duration of this video, because wow, it's annoying to film when you're coughing, and I bet it doesn't really improve the quality of the video for the viewer either. So, double whammy on that one. Purple drank to the rescue. We need to find what's the prosecutor. Where was it? Oh Lord, I'm so bad at these cities. Like, the layout of the cities is so weird that I never get used to it. I just keep getting lost every time. Oh, there we go. Hey, you. I got all the stuff.
You have returned, Your Excellency. Do you have any news on our matter?
Do I have news? Jubus. I guess we're gonna have to go through all of them.
A Naut victim of Dr. Asili agreed to testify at the trial.
Excellent. This kind of testimony will certainly rattle his defense.
The islanders will testify at the trial. Their injuries will surely convince the judges.
Indeed. But do bear in mind that the islanders are not highly regarded in Hikmet.
Yeah.
I
Scholars.
managed to convince the scientists in the governor's laboratory to speak in our favor.
Excellent. These are not direct witnesses, but if they denounce the doctor, we are sure to be heard.
I even got a testimony from one of Dr. Asili's colleagues.
Perfect. That will convince our scientists, and you know how important they are in Hikmet.
Yeah.
Afra unfortunately refuses to testify. She fears she will be responsible for the death of her former master.
A shame, but it is her choice. We can only respect
He's gonna
it.
die either way.
An alchemist studied the powder that we found in the laboratory. Apparently, it's some kind of concentrate made from the blood of several patients with the Malachor. It seems that less than a pinch of this powder is enough to contaminate whoever consumes it. There's enough here to make a small town sick.
A terrifying thought. I will add the analysis and this powder to the evidence on record. You have gathered overwhelming evidence. The defense will have a hard time saving the accused. I think we can go to trial with confidence now.
Well, let's do it.
Will the trial begin soon?
It seems to be the right time. Excellent investigation work. I think we have every chance of winning.
Where will the trial be held?
At the palace. I regret to inform you that you
Oh,
will not
come
be able to
on.
attend.
What about my objection
I'm
moment?
sure the governor will keep you informed of the outcome of the proceedings.
Balls.
Congratulations. The trial was exemplary. Asili's madness was exposed to the entire world. And you have demonstrated the horror of his methods.
Thank you, Excellency. But all praise should be showered upon Sir Desade. The evidence he supplied was irrefutable.
It was necessary that you hear the victims, in order to understand the extremities to which your science has taken you.
Come now. One cannot conclude that science was guilty here.
Not science, but the savants were. It is never right to set aside humanity in the name of the common good. No knowledge justifies killing or torture.
Your words are wise, and I promise to remember them.
You have not always shown yourself a man of impeccable judgment, Excellency.
We are all, from time to time, victim of our own blind enthusiasm, that is true. But this trial has shaken my usual resolve. It may very well change the course of history.
I'm not quite as black as white as our dear Sarday here with the whole it's never, no matter what knowledge is at stake, there's never right to torture or kill. I mean, none of the science we have so far would have been worth that. But putting it like never, what if torturing one guy would lead to the definite, or would lead to the proof of the existence of a higher power, something that we would refer to as God. Like definite proof, irrefutable proof. Would that not be worth it? That one human? You could take somebody who is a dick, like out of a prison or something. I don't know. I don't like black and white, and that was a very black and white statement. Do you have anything
Your
for me?
Excellency.
Lord Desade, and to what do I owe this honor?
No, he
I
didn't.
have to go.
He was just
Look forward to
talkable.
seeing
He
you.
didn't have anything to say.
Farewell,
Right, so we did that quest. That was actually one of the more interesting side quests. Oh, there's more to it. We get to go to the executions with Afra. We get to poke her in the side and be like, "Hey, that's your teacher. Could have been you. Could have been you." No, we're not gonna do that. But either way, oh shit. Oh yeah. So we get to go to the execution with Afra, and then we're gonna do the rest. Then I'm gonna talk about this being one of the more interesting side missions. Are we supposed to talk to him? What? Oh, do I need Afra in my team? I'm guessing I need Afra in my team. Okay, so I guess we'll grab... Vasco can go sit on it. Afra, come with me. We're going to an execution. The only time I brought her with me is to go watch a guy die. And somebody she knows, nonetheless.
Afra, are you certain that you want to attend this?
I do not want to attend. I must.
Dr. Asili, you have been found guilty of all accusations brought against you. In consequence, the Bridge Alliance Tribunal condemns you to death. Do you have any final words?
You treat me like a monster. But how many times have you stayed your own hands? So close to the goal to finally find a remedy, you would have done as I. What do a few lives mean when the future of all humanity hangs in the balance? You are nothing more than idiots, incompetents, and you, Baron, are the greatest hypocrite of all. You know that I am right.
Executioner, earn your pay.
You know that I am right.
What's gonna happen here? Nothing much.
Desade, I would like to go to Kurganau, the place of ritual.
Oh, come on.
To study the carving, but they call it...
Sorry, I'm
I understand. Anything else?
No.
I must leave you.
You don't have anything to say about what just happened? Nothing? That was it? What a strange ending to the side quest. That was one of the more interesting ones we've had so far, though. Like, I was actually curious as to what would happen. And investigating Asili was quite fun. I just wish we could have been at the trial and been all like, objection! Like Phoenix Wright. That would have been sweet. What time is it? I'm up to 40 minutes. Some cuts, but most of it talking. You know what? The fuck? Oh, Sioras. Oh lord, we have Siora's side quest as well. This is also one that we're gonna have to do on camera because that was a fundamental part of the main story. Let's go talk to Constantine about our worrisome discoveries before we end today's episode. We have the High King face to face with a god is our main quest. But so is this one, the oh shit, wrong place. But we also have like two main quests going now. We have face to face with a god, which is go to a cave and let the new High King Dunkus open it up for us so we can go talk to whatever the fuck his name is in Tirfordian. And then we have talk to Constantine about the worrisome discoveries that we think a human has been afflicting the Guardians with some kind of disease that makes them go full on insane and attack Tirfordians and Renaigse alike. Like full on war, wage war. And then we have the side quest of Siora's mother. I think in the next episode we're gonna do Siora's mother side quest. And if it's short, then we'll move on to the main quest after that. If it's a longer one, that's going to be the episode, etc, etc. But after this, I think we're going to just go main quest until that game ends, because I'm getting tired of running other people's business. I want to do my own shit for a time.
Constantine.
My dear cousin, I'm always happy to see you. What news do you bring?
We managed to solve the problem of the attacks on San Mateus.
Really? So, what was causing them?
The city and its outposts were continuously being attacked by animals. These beasts were led by a large creature that strangely resembled a mountain guardian.
This is the same creature which High King Vinbar turned into, isn't it?
Exactly. Except it looked sick and it didn't act like the High King did. It was calling the animals around it, and it seemed like it was transferring its disease to them before making them attack. I have never seen anything like it. And there's more.
I didn't see it then either.
Hikmet was in a similar situation. Do you remember?
Of course. Don't tell me that a Guardian was involved there as well.
Yes. The governor was convinced that the attacks were led by the islanders. And yet they were being attacked as well. And it was by their side that I fought the creature. That time it was a Nardai Glenderman, a beach guardian. But it seemed just as sick. And it was also manipulating the animals to make them aggressive.
So, it would be some kind of epidemic affecting the Guardians. I don't see
the
what
Malachor.
I can do about it. Actually, I think you've already done what had to be done by eliminating those that were threatening our neighbors.
Perhaps. But I'm certain there's more to it than a simple epidemic. These beasts attack in a coordinated fashion, which requires an intelligence that they don't have.
You're exaggerating, dear cousin. The attacks you thought were coordinated may just have been coincidental.
You may be right. But I can't help thinking...
Constantine, do you have something to do with this?
Do you really believe that a Denegad would want to take over the island? Cousin, you know how much I respect you, but frankly, this doesn't seem very coherent. And we have other reasons to be preoccupied. Another epidemic, one that concerns us a lot more, remember? You should try to meet this Enon Milflichterman who is so well protected.
It is true, and I'm taking care of it now. But be vigilant, will you? Perhaps we will be attacked next.
Oh, don't worry about it. I'm sure nothing will happen to us. Is there anything you would like to tell me?
Constantine, do you have something to do with these attacks? It's pretty convenient that it's just like... It's just Hikmet and San Mateos that gets attacked. Also, the High King wanted to kill him so his disease or corruption wouldn't get back to the system, wouldn't come back to the island. Constantine, do you have something to do with these attacks? Are you trying to take over the entire island? I'm calling it right now. He's behind it because this is the first time he's acted this way. There's some faffery about here.
You told me that during the ritual with Katasak, you felt the bond he'd created.
It's true. And it was an incredible feeling. I felt like I was every blade of grass in that remote place. I could see everything, feel everything, and I knew that I could bend the trees to my will.
Do you still feel that way?
Yes, but in a more dull, muffled way. The first time, it was surreal and perfect. In fact, I don't know if there's a word for it.
The first time?
The first time it happened. Now it's as if I've become used to feeling this bond.
I must take my leave.
Take care, and come back soon.
That was very odd. I think Constantine has something to do with the attacks. Whether willingly or unwillingly, or with his knowledge or without his knowledge, he has something to do with that. That was weird as fuck. So right, now we just have one main story mission, which is go to the High King and face the god. And we have Siora's mother to take care of. Either way, all of this, ooh, the Milky Way, will be in a future episode because we are ending this one right here. If you're still watching, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the show. Please don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and share my video and channel with other people. Also, where screens and people like to watch Let's Plays because that's what I do. Hopefully in the future with less coughing. I apologize for that in this video. Next episode, we're going to start with Siora's mother's funeral. If that's a long one, that's the episode. If it's a short side mission, then we're going to move on to go find Dunkus and get into that cave and talk to Enon Milflichterman so we can move on with the main story. But that will be then. So for now, we're going to say bye-bye.